There's more value in choice of models. Blazer buyers have two to choose from. The K10 Blazer with its new part-time four-wheel drive system with automatic locking hubs, or the two-wheel drive C10 Blazer with independent front suspension for people who want the versatility and function of a sport utility vehicle without paying for the extra cost of four-wheel drive traction.
Here we are at our garage and test facility. Let's see what we're rolling out in this issue. Looks like we've snagged ourselves the all-new 2019 Chevrolet Blazer SUV. The more expensive upgraded RS version. I think General Motors did a very good job on the styling. This is a nice looking vehicle in my book. I think they borrowed a few cues from the Chevy Camaro. Nice looking from the rear as well. I've already been driving this car for a week, and I do like the driving characteristics. A lot of positive things to say about it, as we'll see later on in the video when we hit the road. On the other hand, it has some strange quirks that you might like or dislike. I'm going to cut to the chase and cover these right now. Item number 1. All Blazers do come with a rear view mirror made of glass, but on some upgraded versions, there's a secret button back here that I didn't even know about until I saw it by accident, which gives you an electronic mirror from a wide-angle camera on the outside of the vehicle in the rear. Very impressive, very high quality. Used to be you could only get this on Cadillacs. We'll be looking at this later on in the video, especially at night drives. Glass. Oops. This doesn't want to come on. There we go. Item number 2, the engine. If you look in the Chevy catalog, base choice is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder, putting out 193 horsepower, hooked to a 9-speed automatic transmission, or you get this 3.6 liter V6, putting out 305 horsepower, hooked to a 9-speed automatic transmission. What they don't tell you in the catalog, the setup comes with a start-stop system. The way that works, you come to a red light, step on the brake, the engine shuts off. Step on the gas to move, the engine comes back on. Many cars have this today. It's intended to save fuel, and if you live in Los Angeles or Atlanta, where the traffic moves at 4 miles per hour, you might do so. In other localities, it doesn't really save much fuel, just wears the engine out. So if you don't want that, there's a switch to turn it off somewhere on the dash. Or should I say, on other brands you have a switch to turn it off. At the moment, on Chevrolet and GMC SUVs, there's no disconnect switch for the start-stop system, which means you have it whether you want it or not. Most people might not bother them, might bother you, so what you need to do is take a test drive before you buy, see how the system works, and see how you like it. Item number 3. Like all vehicles, there is a manually operated volume control. This has an extra feature called AVC, automatic volume control. And the way that works, the faster the vehicle is going on the road, the higher the volume comes up on the speakers. The lower the speed, the lower the volume. A lot of high-end cars have this, but they have a disconnect switch somewhere in the program. Apparently not so here. I went through the owner's manual, I contacted Chevrolet. Apparently no way to disconnect this at all. In fact, nobody seemed to know this was even in the vehicle to begin with. Apparently, I'm the only one who noticed, because none of the other YouTube reviewers or car reviewers and publications have mentioned this. But it's there, trust me. Also on the GMC Acadia I had last week. I would like to take this vehicle on the road, turn the radio on, demonstrate the high volume, low volume situation, but because of copyright laws, we're not allowed to play music on YouTube. I've gotten jammed for that before, so we can't do that. On the other hand, I do have some good news. The volume raising and lowering is in the very low mode, not medium and high, so it's not going to bother you that much. But again, take the test drive, take it on the road, turn the radio on, see if it bothers you. Probably won't, but it is there, you need to know about it. Item number 4, apparently I'm the only car reviewer on the planet that tests headlights in the dark. And people do drive in the dark, makes you wonder why they don't. So we're going to take these out in the dark and see how they perform. We'll do that right now. In fact, I can't remember which the headlights are. Up here or down here? Guess we'll find out soon enough. It's dark enough. Let's take these lights out, see what they do. Here we have the headlights on a wall 100 feet away. Pretty bright, low to the ground, but good height, nevertheless. Go to high beam. Looks pretty bright to me. So let's finish up the headlight test. And we have the high beams on a building 300 feet away. Good widespread, good height. No issues here. Go low beam, just barely reaches out. I don't see any problems at all. By the way, if you're wondering how this mirror performs in the dark, it does quite well. We're going to lose some clarity on the camera. You'll see some fuzziness, but it's a lot more clear than it looks. And this is on a dark street. If you're driving on the freeway at night, the camera gives an excellent wide spread of view. Very useful. This camera is very nice. Works good in day or night. Definitely worth having. Here's what the backup camera looks like in the dark. Your choice on the left, choice on the right. And of course the electronic again on top. Overall, if you like driving at night, I'd say you're pretty well off with the Chevrolet Blazer. Item number 5, the price tag. On paper, the Chevy Equinox, their compact SUV, runs around $24,000. The larger Chevy Traverse that we tested about 4 weeks ago, $30,000. This is not quite in between at $28,000, but competitive with other makes. But that's on paper. By the time you get down to the dealer, they have a way of loading up a lot of stuff on these Chevy SUVs. Here's the price of the Cadillac XT4 I drove about 2 weeks ago. Here's a price tag on the Chevy Traverse we drove. A long ways from the base $30,000, almost as much as the Cadillac. And for our Chevy Blazer, starting at 28 grand. There you go, not that far off from the Cadillacs we've been getting. Sticker shock. Pardon my shaky hand, but we don't have a tripod anymore. In item number 6, we're going to cover paint colors and how they perform in the sun since we're getting into the summer months with my little magic gun here. It's a nice warm 85 degrees on the outside today. Here we have a lime green Jeep, 90.5, a white Ram, 89.9, and our vehicle, which is a dark charcoal gray, a step up from black, 116 degrees. In the month of July, where temperatures normally run at least 100 degrees outside, where I'm at, I've recorded temperatures on dark gray colors like this as high as 170 degrees, and on black paint, 187 degrees. So the hint here, if you're going to buy a Blazer and you live somewhere where the sun shines, get yourself a lighter color. They have a really nice looking red, very, very sharp appearance, and others to choose from. For what it's worth, the air conditioning system on the Blazer works quite well. In fact, the air conditioning system on most GM products work very nice. This particular system is very easy to use. You have all your buttons here, a bit on the small side, but you'll get used to it. Fan speed here, and the temperature is controlled by turning this, the air vent. If you know that, it's easy. If you don't know that, well, you're out of luck. This is the same system I had on an Audi TT recently, so I guess they're copying some good items. Since we're already in the cabin, let's just take the entire tour. The materials, not the fanciest I've ever seen, but adequate enough. Modern looking design. And I almost forgot, there's another feature you need to be familiar with. And that's the glove box design. On the positive side, very easy to use. You have an electric button. Simply press. And you have lots of room in here for all your goodies. That's the good news. The bad news is, if the vehicle's battery goes dead, how do you get in here? You don't. There's no way to manually override the electric button. So it's not a good idea to keep your wallet and cell phone in here. Because if you get stranded with dead battery, you have a heck of a time getting your cell phone and wallet to call for help. That's why I'm keeping my wallet in the back storage area, and maybe why you should too. They did spend an extra buck or two to give us map holders on the rear seats. Thank you. Very generous room in the cargo area. And of course, the seats do fold down if you need more. Yes, we do get a spare tire. You'd be amazed at the number of vehicles that don't. More storage area in this little cubby hole. Room for 2 full-size adults in the second row seating. Here's one of the best features of the Blazer design. The doors go all the way down to the bottom, which means dirt and road debris will not build up on the rocker panels. Which also means when you're getting in and out of the vehicle, you're not going to have dirt rubbing on your pants. Very few vehicles are designed like this, but all should be. Thank you, Chevrolet, for getting it right. Another design I like, the automatic power door can be disconnected for manual mode operation. Very important if you're out camping at night. Constantly opening and closing the door will not run your battery down. You'd be surprised the number of vehicles where you can't turn this off, but you can on the Chevy Blazer. Once again, Chevrolet got it right. And seriously, if you're too weak to open and close the door like this manually, maybe you should start taking your vitamins. You get a nice gauge cluster with useful information. These sun visors slide back and forth to block the sun out. You'd be surprised a lot of vehicles don't have sun visors that do this. Once again, Chevy got it right. If you order the Blazer with the all-wheel drive system, you get this magic knob. 2-wheel drive for better fuel economy, all-wheel drive, sport, icy roads, and towing. Take your pick. If you're in the habit of backing up a lot in parking spaces, you're well equipped. Not only do you have this nice wide-angle electronic mirror, you have another rear view camera and a 360-degree bird's eye view, which also comes in handy if you're off-roading. I'd say you're well equipped. Okay, first half of our video, show and tell. We're done with that. Second half, we're going to do some driving. Get some fuel economy readings. And if we get time, we're going to take this off-road. It does have adequate ground clearance and all-wheel drive, so it should be pretty good doing so. Okay, driving feature number 1. Chevrolet did an excellent job on this electric power steering. Actually feels hydraulic, not over-assisted, not under-assisted. And this is in the 2-wheel drive mode. If you engage all-wheel drive, it gets a little better, or the sport mode. You'll be very pleased with this. No complaints. Since this is supposed to be a sporty SUV, we might as well take some corners. I'm cheating. I'm putting it in all-wheel drive sport mode. A bit of body lean, but hanging in there pretty good. As we do in all my test vehicles, we're going to take this on some speed bumps at 20 miles per hour and see how the suspension performs on impact. Keep in mind, Chevrolet recommends 36 pounds of air in the tires, which I find to be a bit on the high side, which will probably result in some impact noises a bit on the larger side. But you never know till you give it a try, so let's see what happens. At If this was my vehicle, I would lower the tire pressures to 32 pounds, but that's me. Bump number 1, pretty smooth. You'll hear noise from the tires because of the high pressures. That was bump number 2. Bump number 3. The big nasty one coming up. Not bad, really. A very good solid body structure, too. Basically, the suspension on this Blazer is very comfortable. With these tires and the tire pressures of 36 pounds, you get a lot of rumbling on rough pavement. As I said, if this was my vehicle, I would lower the tire pressures a bit. And as you can see, driving in the seat has the tire pressures reaching up to 40 pounds already. Just so you know. I've driven about every 9-speed automatic transmission on the market, starting with those horrible 9-speeds we had in the Chryslers and Jeeps. Yuck. Moving up to the 9 speeds in the Mercedes-Benz, which didn't impress me at all. So when Chevy said they were going to put a 9-speed in the Blazer and their GMC SUVs, I was kind of worried, but I'm not. Actually, they got the programming right, and this is actually a very nice gearbox. Look to a very nice engine. Strong power, smooth, quiet, decent economy. Let's do a 0 to 60 run. I'm going to put it in all-wheel drive sport mode. Yeah, it might be cheating a bit. Nice brakes. The fuel economy rating for the Blazer in all-wheel drive is 18 to 25 mpg with an average of 21. If you order the vehicle with front-wheel drive only, it's supposed to move up to something like 19 to 27 mpg, I'm told. But then again, if you disengage the all-wheel drive on this vehicle, it should move up as well. We're going to do a lot of driving. We'll find out soon enough. For the first 80 miles I had this vehicle, I was doing 17 miles to the gallon in the city, but with all the 0 to 60 running and other testing, it dropped to 15.5. We'll be taking some highway trips to bump up these figures a bit. And more sedate driving in the city. This electric mirror system works great. You can see everything behind you and beside you. I rarely have to use my side view mirrors. A great idea. We should see this on more vehicles. We're going to reset the mileage computer to 0 and take a freeway trip. See if we can get the fuel economy figures to up a bit. And again, I really like this electronic mirror, especially in the daytime. Gives a great view. This is a very nice SUV for long trips. It's smooth, quiet, comfortable, good seating position, simple controls. Our fuel economy is really moving up. Very pleasant to drive. I'm impressed. By the way, this vehicle has radar cruise control. But if you don't like that, you can press the button to override it and get standard cruise control, which works for me because I like the latter, not the former. But it's nice to know you have a choice between the two. We're coming to the end of the trip. We'll pull over and see what the fuel economy reading says. There you go. 81 miles, 75 miles per hour, 26.3 mpg. They say SUVs are designed to go off pavement. Well, let's find out. The Blazer does have enough ground clearance to take off pavement. If you order the all-wheel drive, it has traction in sand, mud, or snow. It's been a while since I patrolled the ranch, so that's what we're going to do here. This is my adopted family. Pleasant enough except for this one. You don't want to bend over when he's around. You might get stuck somewhere you don't want. Come on, Homer. It's Daddy. Come see Daddy. Come on. Come on, boy. One of the advantages of a small vehicle like a Blazer, you can fit in tight spaces you could not on a larger SUV. Comes in handy. Well, after walking for 3 hours, I thought I'd get some water at the riverbed, and it's dry. That's not good. I might never finish this video. After 12 miles of hiking, I'm getting hungry. We'll stop in Dead Man's Cave and see if I can grab a rattlesnake. Usually have a whole bunch in here. Well, no rattlesnakes to have for lunch, but there's a mountain lion den. If he comes back while I'm still here, he'll have me for lunch. So, best thing to do is get out of here and try to remember where the Chevy Blazer is. Where is it? Ah, there it is. Oh, goody. Another 2-mile hike. So goodbye, YouTube. Sharpen your horns lately, huh? The Chevy Blazer is okay for off-roading as long as you realize you're basically driving a car, not a heavy-duty truck. Tread lightly and you'll be just fine. This is more of a recreational vehicle, not a hardcore 4x4. We're going to get on the highway and make a return trip. Reset the mileage computer to 0. Let's see what type of fuel economy we get this time. We're back in town, coming to the end of our second highway trip. We'll pull over and see what our fuel economy says. There you go, 90 miles, 26.1 mpg. About the same as last time. In our past 384 miles of driving, we've averaged 19.5 mpg. Pretty close to the average claimed on the EPA window sticker. And since we're getting close to our 400-mile goal, time to wrap up this video. If I told you this is one of the nicest SUVs I've driven, I wouldn't be lying to you. The engine is smooth, powerful, and economical. The 9-speed automatic transmission works just fine. All controls are simple, easy to use. Excellent steering, ride, and handling characteristics. And you can actually take this off-road for light-duty use anyway. And I think the styling is pretty cool. Overall, I'm very impressed. On the other hand, the factory does need to make some changes on this new Blazer. A disconnect button for the stop-start system, a disconnect button for the automatic volume control, and a bypass system to get into the glove box if the battery goes dead would be nice. If those items concern you, check with the dealer. They might have made those changes by the time it goes into full production. In the meantime, here are some other videos that we did on some GM SUVs. Just click and watch.